So one of the reasons why it's difficult for us to appreciate the unbridled love that Hashem has for us is because we're so used to things. We're so used to abundance. We're so used to plenty. We're so used to all of the things that we have that we forget we have them. And by the way, folks, in our day and age more than ever before, I've said this a number of times, never in the course of history has there been this much abundance, this much material wealth, this much in terms of luxuries given to the average tax-paying citizen. The average person in our society enjoys luxuries that kings of 300 years ago could not imagine. And if you're not quite sure that I'm right, just focus on one fact. For those of us who are still in the lockdown of COVID-19, I received a check, as many other people received a check. You receive a check for either $1,200 or $2,900 for a family. Why? Because the government, and you have to hear, the CARES Act was $2.2 trillion. The government bailout of the people. But you know what that means? Almost 30 million people unemployed. So not only is unemployment insurance intact, and you receive half of your wage immediately, there's another $600 a week that you receive because of COVID payments, and you receive this for 39 weeks. Could you go back in history and ever find me a man who lost his job and the king said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of you for a better part of a year, I'll take care of your needs. I'll write you a check and I'll take care. If you lost your job, you were in trouble. In the 1920s, if you couldn't get a job, you were evicted. Your stuff, everything you owned was put on the street if you couldn't pay the rent. That was in America, the great America. We live in a world now of unprecedented luxuries, opulence, wealth, and even when catastrophe strikes, there's so many safety nets, and there's so much there that we don't know what it means to suffer, and it's a blessing, tremendous blessing, but one of the costs of that blessing is we forget what a bracha it is. And therefore, if you want to come to love Hashem, the first thing you have to do is you have to appreciate the wealth we have. You have to train yourself to open your eyes and say, wow, I have this gift of sight. I can hear, but not just hear. I can hear so many different sounds and so many different dimensions of those sounds used in variations. And I can listen to a symphony orchestra and I can hear all the different sounds and I can smell and I can eat and I have so many different senses that bring me such pleasure. But again, you have to train yourself to see it. You have to train yourself in the bounty that Hashem put into the world. Many of the features that Hashem put into the world serve no utilitarian function. They're not there as a functional item. They're there to make the world more beautiful. Color, sights, aroma, textures, flavors and food didn't have to be there. We'd still eat. But it wouldn't be as enjoyable. And when you focus on the fact that our Creator put so much care and forethought into making a world that's beautiful, and making colors that are magnificent, making scenery, and making oceans and rivers, and things with such beauty, grace, and harmony, when you recognize that much of the reason why Hashem did it that way was for our enjoyment, you begin to realize the unbridled love that Hashem has for all of His creations, and you begin to feel a sense of wealth, a sense of appreciation.